Hey Bats, this is Des Master, here to bring you some more Backrooms content. So I covered entities 6 through 10, the last visit to the Backrooms, and now I'd like to go on to 11 through 15. These entities are a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with them. Some of the files have very interesting ways that they're written, so I either shortened them or wrote them in my own words for repeat back to you, but I will link the sources, of course, as I always do in my description. Anyway, let's get started. Entity number 11 are Sixarms. They're class 4, meaning they're aggressive. They're in many levels, but prefer dimly lit levels like level 143, level 203, and level 563. Summary. Sixarms are 6-armed entities that you can encounter throughout the Backrooms. I would have never guessed that they had 6 arms. They are only vaguely humanoid in appearance, as shambling masses of arms and legs that seem to end in sharp insect-like appendages which they use to impale their victims multiple times until they are subdued. They seem like the next in the evolutionary line of those clumps. I know it always comes back to the clumps with me, but they're creepy things. Anyway, despite being called 6 arms, the number of limbs these entities possess have been documented to be upwards of 16. No limit has been determined yet. The head of 6 arms are completely round and featureless apart from 2 black eyes that shimmer in the darkness and have been described as uncannily smaller than a human head. The heads are considered the most vulnerable parts of their bodies, but their average height is 7 feet, making it difficult to reach. Some people have reported seeing quote-unquote baby 6 arms, indicating that the creature might be able to asexually reproduce, though these claims remain unconfirmed. So, I've noticed in the Backrooms there's a lot of creatures with featureless faces. No faces, no eyes, ears, nose, or mouth, and I'm wondering if they all have a connection, like, for example, if they're sister species or something, depending on how the biology in the Backrooms works. Interesting thought process for the evolution in Backrooms, if that is a thing. I don't know, I've not done enough research on it. Anyway, behavior. 6arms are infamous for their tendency to hide within the dark, cramped spaces, and behind locked doors. They have been known to wait an incredibly long time within these spaces. They display an absolute hatred and aversion to light, sort of like Smilers. And of course, except Smilers will actively seek out to put out the light source, where I'm pretty sure 6arms will avoid them, and that is why we'll see that they were rare before. Anyway, they subdue their prey by impaling them on those insect-like appendages. Then they vanish into tears in the walls. It's speculated these tears are temporary portals to other levels of the Backrooms. There are reports of 6arms engaging in predation of wall worms. They're able to quickly strike through the skin and pierce the wall worm engine cores. Due to this, 6arms are currently being considered for their potential to prevent wall worm infestations on other levels. Thus far, they have proven incapable of being trained. Discovery. They were discounted as hallucinations until 2016, where wanderers were able to document its behavior and existence in level 143. It would be very cool to tame a longarms, especially if their teleportation is true, that it does go to other levels. Imagine just emerging from a hole in the wall, riding on the back of a 6arms. You'd probably be very powerful. But, you know, the untamable thing is a major, major hindrance. Gotta work harder, scientists. Entity number 12. The Humanoid on level 2. Class 5, dangerous. And, of course, we'd want to note level 2. Gee, I wonder why we'd want to note level 2. It's almost like it's called the Humanoid on level 2. Description. Entity 12 appears to be a pitch-black humanoid ranging somewhere between 6 to 7 feet. The entity can run very fast and is also heat-resistant, which explains why it can travel in the hot areas of the level. The entity can appear when the wanderer is not looking and chase the wanderer. Yeah, they're also not very talkative. I've tried. The entity will appear at random. As soon as the entity sees you, it will begin its chase. It will chase you until you stop running or if you exit the level. When it catches you, it is unknown what it does to you, but its theorized rips you to shreds and eats the remain of your corpse. Can't confirm, it's actually quite scary. Biology. There's only rumors of rubber-like skin given how dangerous the entity is. No one has survived enough to confirm. I can confirm that thing is not rubbery, but I also wouldn't touch it. It's not very likable. Discovery. It's in the very first photograph of level 2. Yeah, that humanoid on level 2. Again, best to avoid big giant shadow creature. Not much to say, not super intelligent, just sort of seeking out people to rip apart. Like many entities of the backrooms. Of course, if you avoid level 2 or leave it alone, actually, it might seek you out, so it's hard to leave alone. That aside, entity number 13, transporters. They're class 5, dangerous, and there are many of them after level 2. They are also known as grabbers, and they are tall, dark humanoid figures. You know, the usual shindig. They start appearing after level 2 and grow more common the deeper into the backrooms you go. They appear when you reach a T-junction in the hallways. 2 of the 3 ways will continue as normal, but entering the 3rd way will reveal a transporter at the end of the hallway. If you turn around, you will find the passage into the hallway is gone, replaced by a simple wall. Yeah, that's when you better start kissing your behind goodbye. The transporter will walk toward you, gradually speeding up. When it reaches you, it will grab your shoulders. For a warm embrace, right? Right? It seems what happens next is random. Either you die, horribly by the way, or, according to the one surviving documentation of a transporter, you're quote-unquote thrown into a void and land in level 4. It is unknown if you could be transported anywhere else by these entities. One person that has been transported by a transporter claims that it took him to level 5678, though there is no proof on this remark, so take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, these things are hard to observe. I don't even bother with them. They're creepy, but they're, you know, another run-of-the-mill horrifying humanoid. Which, again, you do see the pattern here. Tall humanoid figures, and I speculate that they're all related in some way. I haven't done enough research, though, to really figure that out. Anyway, entity number 14 are crawlers. They're class 5, meaning they're dangerous, and they're in many levels, but note level 61. I'd like to mention here, some of the documentation have them as Entity 31, but that has since been updated. Entity 31 are now sliders, and we'll get there eventually. I promise. So, for crawlers, they're also called camo crawlers, and these creatures are strange humanoid monstrosities with 4 arms. They are grayish-brown color when in normal state. These creatures have pure white eyes they cannot see with. They use their hearing to hunt wanderers. Like the cuttlefish, they can change their texture and color to match their surroundings. There is evidence of pack behavior and defense of one another, which is a mark of intelligence. You must be silent as possible and can throw objects to distract them. Thankfully, they are rare. Originally, they were found in level 61, but after their discovery, they began appearing in other levels. More of a mimetic hazard, you know, the more you know, the worse. Big whoops. But yeah, not much more to say about these things aside from, yeah, wallworms. No, not wallworms. What am I saying? Going insane here. Crawlers. More humanoids, more arms. Lots of arms. And then Entity 15, Howlers. They're class 0, no threats, allegedly. And they can be found at any entrance to the backrooms. Howlers are unseen creatures that let out a howl when someone enters the backrooms. No one has ever seen an entity making that specific howling noise, meaning they remain a distinct, unfound entity. It is known that they are provoked by loud noises and howl loudly in response to them. Other entities tend to scatter when howlers are heard, so their howling can be used as an extremely useful mechanism. Some explorers theorize that howlers are invisible or can camouflage themselves similar to cuttlefish like the crawlers. They may be a non-aggressive form of crawlers or crawlers themselves, though no such noise has been recorded from aggressive crawlers. That last bit is my speculation, by the way. Because really, I mean, they do seem related, and if they are blending in, then you'd think that they would have something very similar. Again, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't pursued howlers. They aren't really that big of a threat, and they aren't as interesting as other entities in the backrooms. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the entities 11 through 15. If you like this content, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment, telling me what favorite entity I've gone over so far. And be careful in the backrooms, bats. Make sure not to get lost or eaten by any of these entities, because it is a terrible death, trust me. And try not to piss them off either. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever it is that you are, and toodaloo, see you next time.